Welcome to ECTV Live. David DeCosmo is off this week. I'm Rusty Fender, along with Gina Malski this week. She is the chairperson and the lead spokesperson for the West Pittston Cherry Blossom Festival. And so glad to have you with us, Gina.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You're from the other side of the river.
On the good side.
The good
what
do you
side
mean, the
of
good
the
side?
river.
I'm the Pittston area side. You're the Wyoming area side, along with Mark McGlory here.
And we still bleed green and gold.
No doubt about it. It was the big rivalry, the big Thanksgiving game back then, as you'll remember very well, Pittston area,
I do
Wyoming
remember.
area.
Actually, my husband and I went to high school together, and he was in 1984 the winning quarterback and won the Falcone Award.
How about that?
Go Leo! And we've been married 28 years.
Well, that's your problem with the being married for so long. But don't tell me your problems. This is a good show about good things here, and the West Pittston Cherry Blossom Festival in its 48th year.
Yes.
And you've been with them 48 years.
Yes.
Oh, you're 7 months old when you got into the.
Yes, I got strolled in. Actually, I grew up on Luzerne Avenue in West Pittston, and back then they used to block off the street, so it was the only time that I was able to get over to the festival without a parent, because it's a very safe community event. So we walked over and we enjoyed all the entertainment and the food and the festivities. And then as I got a little older, one of the committee members who has passed away, Ada Rostock, called me. She was friendly with my mother and asked me if I would join the board, and I've been here ever since as a chair.
You know, I feel outnumbered with McGlory and you here with the Wyoming area folks. Mark was on stage, actually, he alluded to, and then you started and have never left.
I have never left. I actually was in the Little Miss Cherry Blossom pageant when I was 7 or 8 years old. I did not win.
How come?
Don't bring it.
Was the fix in? I mean, was the fix in at that time?
Not that it still bothers me, my scarred, but I do MC the pageant now, so I make it as fun and stressless for the little girls. It's important for them to get up in front of everybody, and we really have a good time doing that.
There's no doubt. You know, West Pittston is it's a very historic, it's a very aesthetically beautiful community, and it's sad that it's always ravaged by the Susquehanna River, which goes, as you well know, from a river in the summer that you can walk across without getting your pants wet to a raging torrent where the icebergs are still in that area. Isn't that the best and the worst of both worlds, Gina?
But we try to pull out the positive. I have to say, our grounds committee, led by Pat Messina and his brother Bob, they have had a team down there chopping and cutting and getting the festival all ready, the grounds ready, the trees and the ice. Even though we've really been hit with bad weather, flooding, ice, we're ready to go. It's a really important event for the town and the community, so we have no choice but to move forward.
On my 8th grade trip from Holy Rosary School in Duryea, the big event, it was May 11th, 12th, and 13th, remember, 1970. The big event was to see the Cherry Blossom Festival at the Jefferson Memorial when we had the trip in Washington. You know, they lined the tidal basin. At the time, the Jefferson Memorial was closed because it was actually slipping in, it was caving into the tidal basin, so we couldn't get to see the actual ceremony at the time. But this has again, a rich, steeped tradition in national history with the cherry blossoms. And how did this come about with the cherry blossoms in West Pittston? I guess the river had a lot to play into that at the time, right, Gina?
It did. And you know what? We plant trees still because it's so important. And I think the majority of them have been there a good number of years. You know, people go down all the time to get family pictures and things like that, which is nice. But the actual festival, we always keep our fingers crossed that, you know, that the trees will be in full bloom. And usually we have a pretty good track record on that.
I had my wedding photos done on the River Common there. Yeah, the best part of the wedding, actually, but it was done many, many years ago. Just spectacular in June and July.
Yeah, we have a lot of photographers, a lot of families that come down. So we're really lucky, and we're really proud of it because we work hard on making the grounds as beautiful as we can, and everybody really enjoys it.
48 years this year. What's in store for us this year, Gina?
So what happens, the festival this year is always on a Saturday and a Sunday. It's always the weekend before Mother's Day. So we are on target for the 5th and the 6th of
And
May.
thanks heavens it's finally stopped snowing.
Yes, well, I don't know if it's officially
I
done
don't think
snowing.
it's really done yet.
I'm
For the
hoping.
moment it is.
We've had a lot of bad weather with rain and stuff, so fingers crossed that we get some sunshine. So the festival starts out on Saturday at noon with a parade. It starts down by Sonera Auto Parts and down by Blue Ribbon on Exeter Avenue.
Which is actually Route 92 at that point.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, and Mayo Stripping, they paint
they do the
everything
lines.
pink,
Yeah,
which is great.
absolutely.
We
Yeah, they're
thank
great.
them
Yeah.
to give us our parade route, and it's filled with Representative Aaron Coffer will be there. The District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis, our local police, the state police. It's just a really nice parade. We have our bands in it, and then we have our contestants of our Little Miss, which they love to wave. Our past title holder, who was Mia Bhavani, she won last year, and we just have lots of local people in the parade, and then we end up on the festival grounds, and then we do our official opening, and then right after that it goes right into our Little Miss contest.
There are vendors, of course, in the area as well, and these are set up well in advance, I would imagine. So
Yes,
you
they
start
work-
working on next year's, one of these deals the week after this is over with, probably, right, Gina?
Yes, well, you know, I'd love to take credit for the arts and crafts, but it is chaired by Amy Strobel and Lori D'Angelo, and they do a fabulous job. Every year they are filled to capacity. They work really hard on getting all kinds of new vendors in, and they work year-round on that. And everybody gets a certain size space underneath the big top tent, and it's a great variety. You know, it goes from anywhere from cake pops to candy, to popcorn, to hair bows, to dog treats, to candles. You name it, it's in there, and it's a really good variety.
It's not easy. This is one of those good news, bad news situations. The bad news is it's very tough to line folks up because you have to start so early. But the good news is there's so many events in this area now that it brings people, it's contagious. Events lead to other events, and that certainly leads to the success of the West Pittston Cherry Blossom Festival, Gina.
Well, I think the reason that our vendors, you know, a lot of them come back because they do sell a lot. We do get a lot of foot traffic. There's a lot of families that come down because the Little League is in the parade, and then after, when they get there, they have lunch, they stay for dinner, they go through the arts and craft tents. There's lots of stuff to buy, so we're always filled to capacity. So we have vendors that try to get in, you know, and we do our best to accommodate all that. But I think because they do so well, and it's really networking for them as well, that they sell a lot, so it's a win-win on both sides.
Arts and crafts. Now, you are a Wilkes-Barre business owner and know a lot about arts and crafts. Tell us.
I am. So I run the Downtown Arts Center in Wilkes-Barre. It's the old First United Methodist Church on Franklin Street. I bought the church 11 years ago.
You bought the church?
I did. That's another long story.
I worked right up the street at WBRE. My first job
Yes.
was right at 62 South Franklin. No, you bought the
so
church.
I bought the church, and it's still, you know, we tread water. It's hard keeping the arts alive, but Wilkes-Barre is extremely supportive. We have about 13 artists still thriving at Downtown Arts. It goes from a vocal studio. We do lunch yoga. I run my dance studio there. We have a drama club, a recording studio, a fashion designer. So we have a lot of great stuff that goes on. At Downtown Arts, we participate in Third Friday. And, you know, we do our best to...
You're the perfect person to have in charge of the Cherry Blossom Festival because, again, you have a history in the arts. This is a good thing because, you know, a lot of folks wonder, well, how did these people get in charge? Well, there's usually a backstory to that, and yours is very interesting.
Well, you know, it's funny. our committee, everybody has their niche. Everybody does their thing. Everybody's very busy, but we come together once a month. I do the entertainment and the Little Miss. Amy and Lori do arts and crafts. Everybody just did, Ralph Salerno, he's in charge of the parade, and the Messinas do all the food underneath the tent for lunch, and that's actually really the backbone of the Cherry Blossom is what goes on. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the dollars that are raised underneath the food tent goes back to the local Boy Scouts, and it sends them to camp. So that's why we encourage everybody to come and have lunch and dinner, whether it's raining or not. You could take it out and bring it home, but the Boy Scouts benefit, and they work 3 days down there, even 4 days. They do all the setup, they do all the cleanup, they sleep there, they do the security at night. So they do a fabulous job, and it's really rewarding at the end because the dollars made, it sends them to camp.
You live in Wilkes-Barre?
I live in West Pittston, actually.
Pittston? Yeah. When you got involved with dance, what's the hottest thing now in dance? Because dance is the biggest thing for students to do. I know every town has their own niche. I'm originally born and raised in Old Forge. Of course, it's the Romar Dance Studio in Old Forge. Of course, Pittston, West Pittston. What's the big thing now in dance? Very successful.
Well,
isn't it?
I'm a ballet instructor.
I see.
That's what I do. And my girls, my daughters, before I opened up my studio, attended Romar. It's a fabulous dance studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been around a long time.
Yes, they have.
So I'm going into my 11th season at the Dance Theater of Wilkes-Barre, and though I love to watch all the Dancing with the Stars and the hip hop and the cheerleading stuff.
You do.
My passion is ballet.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's what my studio, the basis is ballet. Now, we
Have
do
you done
reach
ballet,
out.
Gina?
I have.
Yeah.
I am a Point Park graduate. I danced with the Pittsburgh Opera
No
out there.
kidding. That's great.
So I love ballet, and I teach it, and
Ballet will keep you on your toes.
Absolutely.
That's a bad joke. That's something David D. Cosmo would say, but that's a bad joke. But that's great. So is ballet still huge now?
It is. You know what? It's really the backbone to every dance form. I
doubt.
tell kids, I have so many parents that come in and they say they want
structure and poise.
Yes.
And I can imagine that is the foundation of anything. You're right.
We did our 10th anniversary at the Kirby, and we had an event where we had 10 couples that we taught them to dance. Now, it wasn't like Dancing with the Stars. You had to come either with your husband, your dad, or a sibling, and we worked about 12 weeks, and each couple represented their own nonprofit. And then we voted, and we had a
nice.
winner, and Dr. Sean and Michelle Casey, they were our winners of our event, and their monies went to Miles for Michael. But we always say, ballet is what all their kids do, and it really helps in everything, regardless if they're going to be a dancer or not. If they're going to do field hockey or track or be a cheerleader or just play the piano, to keep your back straight and your chin held high, it's important.
It is. We're with Gina Malski from the West Pittston Cherry Blossom Festival here, a very interesting guest. I was surprised, 12 weeks. So that's the run to get you up to, I guess, speed where you should be. So 3 months of practicing for that. I was wondering how long does it take with someone with 2 left feet? And I'm sure you get a few people with 2 left feet.
Well, it's a lot of fun to see the progress and the process. So we have people in the beginning are very apprehensive, hesitate, I can't dance. And then once they start to learn it, they realize it's not as bad as they think. And then, by week 10, week 11, we create dance monsters who push to the front and they say, look, I could do this.
They're waiting for the next Saturday Night Fever to be made,
ready.
right? Yeah, dance monsters, no doubt.
And so they want their moment to shine, which is exciting. Actually, in our 10th anniversary now, I know I mentioned earlier in the show that I've been with my husband, I'm married 28 years, but together since 1984.
Oh, wow. I hate these short-lived romances,
And we never, my husband Leo never got involved in the dance world. He was always very supportive, but never really participated. So in our event, you know, everybody thought, oh, I was going to come out of retirement and do this big dance. So we had this big secret that we were on the Kirby stage and we were doing a country dance, and he pulled out a microphone and started to sing Johnny Cash.
How about that?
Yeah. Now, if you know my husband, he's an executive at EDM, dry, black and white, great, fun, but you would never think that he would get on
liberal,
stage.
well, like myself, yeah, I had no doubt.
You would never think he would pull out a microphone and start singing in front of a crowd, and he was fabulous. I was very proud of him.
How about that? That's wonderful. The art that you deal with there, you have a certain niche of local artists too. I guess that you mainly deal with, correct?
We do. You know, the Cherry Blossom, we don't have a lot of funding, so the dollars that are used on entertainment, we really look for people just to give back to the community. And Richie Kosick from Rock Street
Music,
he is fabulous.
Yeah,
he he does so much. He does all our sound. He will actually close out the festival this year with Flaxie Morgan. We have a couple great bands. DV8 will be there, and actually, the Drama Club from Wyoming area will be there on Sunday at noon to do some excerpts from The Little Mermaid, which I believe are happening at the end of April.
Does Wyoming area have a band any longer?
They do have a band.
I know a lot of schools don't.
We do struggle.
Are they going to be
They
with
still have a band. That is the morning of SATs. So we always run into a little issue of the testing, and that age group, you know, they take them.
That's critical.
But we take, you know, there's a lot, like David Blight will come and perform.
David Blight School of Dance.
Yeah, so, and they've been there forever.
Absolutely.
And, they're extremely supportive. So yeah, so it's really great entertainment. Now the contest itself happens right after the parade. Which is Saturday. Right. We have 8 contestants, and it's so great to watch the girls. You know, they participate in the parade, and then they come up and I ask them some questions just to get them comfortable with the microphone and in front of the crowd. And then they each perform a different entertainment. And it's neat to see the variety of, you know, we have girls that do karate, we have singers, we have gymnasts, dancers, kids will go up who will recite a poem, and that's their entertainment. And then we have a fishbowl question, which the prior year's Little Miss gets to actually pull the question out and read it to the
non-rehearsed, one of those deals.
Non-rehearsed, right? And so it's fun. And then everybody gets a prize at the end, and then, you know, we have our third runner-up up to our winner.
Now, the Cherry Blossom Festival still held between the Water Street Bridge and south on the river along Susquehanna, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because it changed for a while, and of course the Water Street Bridge is the metal bridge, the Fort Jenkins is the concrete.
Right.
Is there anything between the Fort Jenkins and the Water Street Bridge too?
There's not within the festival.
Not within the festival, that's what I thought.
Everything is down, but it's we block off that street, and the residents who live along Susquehanna are very kind to us to deal with all the hoopla that goes on for 2 days, because it's not disruptive to us, but it may be a little disruptive for them.
Well,
but
I think
they know the weekends.
I think they had a windfall this year because I'm sure they were trying to get across the street from where they live cleaned up. I went over the Water Street Bridge a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, oh, the downed trees and the turf torn up and the stumps and the damage to that. So I'm sure that they were very reticent to chase these folks away who were going to clean that. That required a lot of cleaning up from that ice
And they've
dam.
been down there, you know, just cutting trees and chopping ice and getting the grounds ready, and I think we're ready to go. All we need is a little sunshine and the community, and we'll be ready to go. So it's exciting.
So Saturday and Sunday, and again, there's entertainment there.
There's lots of entertainment. So the entertainment on Saturday starts right after the Little Miss contest, which is probably about 2 o'clock. And then we go to maybe 6:30. You know, this is one of the few festivals that we don't serve or sell alcohol. So it ends quite on a quiet note.
Well, I'm a non-drinker, not that there's anything wrong with drinking, but there are a lot of, there's a tend to go that route the last 10 years or so, especially with the extremely stringent drunk driving rules. I know that I attend the Philateliste Festival in Old Forge, which you know you've heard of. Totally dry festival. The dry festivals have a lot less problems, a lot less incidents, and I think that that's actually turning slowly to some of these family-oriented operations, these parades and these festivals and all that, and I think that's a really good thing.
Well, we have a couple, issues with a lot of people will come to our committee meeting and suggest, to have an alcohol tent.
It's a massive moneymaker.
It is a moneymaker.
It's tough to turn that down. You got an 800% gross markup on alcohol, and then if you're a nonprofit like this, I'm sure you'll get a break on that more. It's tough to turn down that money, so I see their point of view as well.
Absolutely, but when you're on the riverbank and you don't have lighting on the water, it's just a no.
I know.
It's just
this
a no
is a
because it's
catastrophe in
dangerous.
the making.
So, but we do fine without it. And again, I don't know if the public knows all the money that's raised from our festival we give back to the community. Now we do keep enough in the bank just in case there's one year that we are totally wiped out. But every dollar goes back. So our the West Pittston ambulance, the fire department, the library. We recently started a $500 scholarship to Wyoming area to a West Pittston resident. So we get applicants that's probably start in January. We had about 12 applicants this year, and our recipient is Sarah Baylor. And so we're excited to have her on board. This, I think, is our third or fourth year of our scholarship. So it goes to a Wyoming area grad. Yay, Wyoming area.
Oh. I think we've heard that enough, Gina. But no, that's wonderful that you're also devising new things to give back to the community, which is probably why it lasts 48 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it's important to us to give back, So the Salvation Army, if we get requests, we try to divvy everything up so everybody could benefit from it. So it's important.
Now the parade route runs along 92, which is
it does.
Correct, and that starts what time again?
That starts at noon.
At noon
on May 5th.
And it's a rather long parade.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent parade. We get a great turnout,
And it starts near the fork in the road by Blue Ribbon, correct? Yes. Correct. So you do get a good turnout.
Maybe you want to be in it.
Next year, yeah. Give me an invitation next year. Only if I can lead with the baton at the.
Well, we do have
I'm a patriot, so I don't know if I'm going to go really
over
well with a warrior.
I forgot. Maybe we
I'm
shouldn't.
A Pittston area. Just keep that under your hat. But it's you have, of course, a lot of local folks in there as well, and a lot of local groups who I imagine are in every year.
We do, and this year we have a grand marshal. Well, we have a grand marshal every year.
I'm the grand marshal next year, so this guy is out.
You have to be voted on.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this year it's Jim Manganello. Who has been with the town forever. He's highly involved in Little League and all kinds of things, so we're excited and we congratulate him. But we have a great list of grand marshals and Little Miss and entertainment and food, so it's all good.
That's great. So recap once again, Gina, Saturday and Sunday, and what time does it start and what time does it end?
Okay, so Saturday, May 5th and Sunday, May 6th are the 2 days of our festival. On Saturday, the parade begins at 12. The festival grounds are open by 11:15, so you can go down if you're not interested in watching the parade. Once the parade ends, it ends right at the festival grounds. We do our opening ceremony. Mayor Blaskowitz will be there, and we do a nice opening with the Star Spangled Banner and an invocation. Leads right into the Little Miss contest at 1 o'clock, and then we have entertainment on Saturday up till about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Then we come back on Sunday. We open up at noon, and the festival closes about 5 o'clock. Everything in between there is we want to make sure that everybody comes out and has lunch and dinner because the proceeds of that food does go to our Boy Scouts, and then arts and crafts. You could spend half the day down there. We have instant bingo and lots of great organizations. We have the Welsh cookies, if you and they're homemade and they're great. So it's just a great community event.
You have been a wonderful guest, even though your downfall is being a Wyoming area warrior. This is the person who said, I don't think I can talk for 30 minutes. Can you help me along? I couldn't get a word in edgewise on this. You've been wonderful. But you had some news I wanted to scoop you with on the governor.
Yes, so
tell us.
I have been asked to chair the 2018 Governor's Arts Award, which is going to be in Scranton on August 8th at the Scranton Cultural Center.
And Scranton was chosen.
Scranton was chosen. Every year there's a different host city. Last year it was in Lancaster. About 11 years ago, under Governor Rendell, it was in Wilkes-Barre, and I worked on it. But this year I'm chairing it, which is very exciting. I'm excited.
As if you don't have enough to do. Like, really?
Well, you know, it's exciting
really?
to
Why don't
promote.
you give people a break? Really?
It's exciting to promote the arts in Scranton
It is.
because there's so much, and you know.
Well, they have the Arts and Fire, you know, which I was involved with years ago. I did public affairs shows with the, you know, at the historic iron furnaces. Arts in the past 10 years has come of age in Scranton. This is perfect, Gina.
And there's so much going on already. There's the Jazz Festival,
That's right.
and
That's
their
right.
first Friday. So I'm kind of just not going to compete with that and just promote it. And I'm excited. So it's open to the community August 8th at the Cultural Center, and hopefully I'll be back to talk about that too.
Absolutely. If I have any say in the matter, you certainly will. It's been great to meet you. Good to see you.
It's great
and
to meet you
good
too.
luck, Gina, with the
Thank you.
with the 48th annual West Pittston Cherry Blossom Festival. David DiCosmo back again next week. Mark McGlory, our technical guru, thank you so much for all your wizardry here. I'm Rusty Fender. We'll see you back next week right here. And thank you for watching ECTV Live.